Yolan, hello. Hi. Welcome to It's Sybil. Hello, Med. How are you?
Doing excellent, Sybil. How you doing? We are
You
at
don't look or sound like you're doing excellent.
I'm at soccer practice. It's been a day.
Oh,
It's been a long
okay.
day today. I
Okay.
voted the
Oh, so you took that? There
aha.
you go. Look at you with your wearing your peach.
Got my peach.
Nice. Nice.
Voted
You're going to be one
today.
of those who vote counts. Yes. Was it a long line? Tell us
Yes.
about your experience.
Yeah, no, the experience was great. There was literally nobody there. It took me 10 minutes.
Oh, good.
To be
Okay.
10 I mean, there's a good amount of people there was plenty of you know, people working and I got in and out. Blake was
Now,
all up in the Blake was all up in there. He was looking at who I was selecting and asking
uh,
questions. And the lady told him not to touch the paper that was printed out. Hey, he can't touch that. I'm like, okay, sure.
and did that happen? Because there are rules.
Yeah. I told him, hey, don't touch the printed paper because they really are. They're watching you, sir. They're
And
locked in
dad's
on
vote
you.
will not count.
Exactly. So he did not because my son will be quick to grab something coming out of the printer to hand to me.
Hmm. Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
he did not touch it, and I scanned it in, and my vote counted. Everything matched from what I voted on because I had to ask you to double check it 3 times before you even. It's so funny because I'm just like everyone talking about no ID. I'm like they have to literally scan the back of my ID
Yeah.
to allow me to vote. So I'm just like, who was voting with no ID? Like
How do
who?
you do that?
I don't know where they're doing that at because every single time I voted, they've had to like scan the back of my driver's
Yeah.
license
And then they
for
hold
me
it
to.
up to the light, and they look
They
and,
do
and make sure the
everything,
watermark is on your
so I
license. And
don't know what it is, simple, but I don't know where people are not using ID to vote. They probably have a hanging Chad that's still some, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, but
people in
you got
Florida, do you guys still
I
have
had to have my
hanging
ID.
chads?
I was about to say because I had to have my ID to walk in. So yeah, I would
Speaking
love
of
to know. I would
hanging
love to know.
chads, there's a whole generation of kids that don't know anything about hanging chads.
That's funny, isn't it? The darn hanging Chad. That is
Yeah, the hanging
hilarious.
chads that did in the 2000
Was
presidential
it Al
election.
Gore? Al
Hmm.
Gore, right?
Al
Yeah, it was
Gore
Al
and George
Gore.
W.
Jesus. So yeah, like I said, it was a great experience. It's always been very easy. I've never really had to wait, especially since we started early voting. I've never really had to wait too long. Like that first week, I said, "Yeah, okay, y'all very excited, so I'm gonna let y'all
Hmm.
pass because I think there's a bunch of y'all that have never done this before. So I'm gonna let y'all treat this like election day, and I'm gonna wait till
Right.
next week. Wait until next week, and that's you know how it is. It's kind of like going to the gym. You wait until like
Yeah.
February to go to the gym because everybody that comes in
The first
January
couple of
takes
weeks.
over.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta wait until February because everyone's really hyped about getting in shape, and so you have to just wait a little bit. So I just waited because everyone got excited and they wanted to stand in line like it was election day. I'm like, that's not the purpose of this early voting. Early voting is supposed to make this quick, and y'all not doing that. So I'm gonna wait. And I waited the weekend. I got my normal early voting experience, and so I'm happy with that.
Good for
And the polls
you.
are open. And the polls are open later. The last three in Georgia, the last 3 days. So usually they're closed at 5 p.m.
Hmm.
Today, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, because Friday's the last day to early vote. The polls close at 7 p.m. So
In Georgia. Yeah.
in Georgia, yes,
They announced in Texas that they were going to be extending some of the hours because, as you said, 5 p.m. in some of the areas and
it's
5 p.m.
tough.
in some of the counties here in Texas and North Texas. But now they're going to extend it to 7 p.m. And I meant to send that out in my text chain with my girls in talking about voting and all of that stuff. And
Yeah, no,
shout out
5
to
p.m.
the
is
poll
tough.
workers. Yeah, well, because for most people, you probably can't get there before work if you got kids,
You're right.
and after work, that if you get out at 5 in traffic and all that, and You're gonna miss it, and your
You're gonna
boss
miss
may
it.
not let you go.
I mean, it's like literally, it's like you work at 9 to 5, and the polls are open from 7 to 5. It's like, good luck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Good luck.
exactly right. Yeah,
It
yeah.
don't
So
make no sense.
it doesn't, but it'll all be over a week from today. I'm taking bets. When do you think we'll know?
I think it's 3 days.
So you think it'll be like last year? It'll be like over the weekend, maybe,
Yeah,
and when Georgia comes through.
yeah. I think it'll be 3 days. Look, I mean, I understand because of the early voting, because I think Georgia was the first state to start voting, because they've been blitzing Georgia. I mean, the first lady's here right now.
First of the battleground states.
Huh?
First of the
Yes.
battleground
It,
states.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, Georgia was the first state that I heard that opened up for early
Okay.
voting. I didn't know. I didn't know anybody else that had opened up that early. Cause I saw New York opened up like what, on Friday or something like that. Like
Yeah, New York is.
like New York just opened up, and I'm just like, okay. So I thought everybody kind of opened up when Georgia did, but obviously it did not. So, but I mean, because of the battleground state, like you said, Sybil, they've really been. They have, like, I was like, they've been here like 3 or 4 times in the last
Week.
7 days. And
Right.
then tonight, Michelle Obama's
Tonight's
here.
the big thing. Yeah. And all the ladies,
Michelle
all the
Obama's here
ladies.
tonight. So they're pushing, and that's what. But that's also why people were wondering about why was there a big Trump rally at Madison Square Garden in New York? Because they started early voting, and they had to make a big push for that during that early voting. But like I said, if you don't know who you want, right, like by now, I don't know what. I don't really
And I'm
like.
still seeing those stories, man, and it's still just very frustrating. I was like, I can't vote for him, but she's not telling me anything. And I'm like, I don't know what you need her to tell you. You want to give
Look,
her her social security number so that you can go and, use her identity or something? Because that
I
doesn't make any sense.
I I saw Van Lathan kind of break
Hmm.
this down, and it's things that I've kind of said about Trump over the last 8 to 10 years. That, and it's something that, like, one of my really good friends, James Lee, who is a master salesman. He's like, the thing about Trump is, if you're a salesperson in sales, and you watch how he's ran his campaign, ran his presidency, you can see as a salesperson him using the basic sales 101 to kind of build his cult
It's,
almost.
yeah,
And he's like, he would rattle off sales terms to me. He's like, yeah, that right there, what he's doing right there, we do that so we can close the deal.
close
You
the
do
deal. Yeah.
this to do this. You keep repeating things. It may be true, maybe not. You keep repeating it, people are gonna start buying into it.
Yep.
So the fact that Donald Trump, and again, I'm going to go back to Van Lathan. Van Lathan was saying that people, for some reason, have no problem not questioning. People that follow him and the Republicans have no problem questioning anything that man at
Right.
all. It's like, you can really listen to this man. And Stephen A. Smith was talking to Sean Hannity. He's like, you really want me to question Kamala Harris's intelligence, and we're comparing it to Donald Trump?
Right.
It makes no sense how
Yeah.
we can challenge her intelligence, but not his. That we can't see that he's incoherent. That he rattles on about stuff that has nothing to do with the
Has
question that's
nothing to do
asked.
with,
No
yeah.
one sees any problems with this, but we're complaining about Kamala Harris. It makes no sense. And
We're just
watching
looking,
it,
not we, but they are just looking for stuff. It's
they're
just
just
like,
looking, yeah, and it just doesn't make, and it absolutely makes no sense. And Van Lathan kind of concluded it's just like, it was like the protecting of their whiteness. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Because that's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter what Donald Trump does. It doesn't matter what it is, how he says it. They complain about her not doing interviews. Do we remember that Donald Trump didn't do any
he didn't have,
debates
he
at
didn't do
all
any
during the
debates. He didn't
process?
have to do anything during that run up where, you had, after the first year, in 2016, in 2024, he didn't do any of the debates in the Republican primaries, right? And so it just doesn't make
But
any
no,
sense.
but nobody questions that.
No,
Nobody says anything.
no.
But Kamala doesn't do an interview. It's like what she has to hide.
Right, right. What does she have to
What
hide?
are we talking about here?
So
What are we
those are
talking
some of the
about here?
things
So it's just
we talk about in the What You Need to Know newsletter. It is our Monday through Friday newsletter in which we seek to super serve the African American community. And among the topics, obviously, talking about politics. I went a different route today and talked about the hacking that is allegedly going on and manipulated by Chinese uh, hackers, and how they have allegedly hacked into the phones of Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and perhaps some members of the Biden administration or some members of the campaign staff of the Harris Walls campaign staff. And it's like, well, what service are they using? Any of the services, AT&T, Verizon, Lumen are among the targets of the hackers. And the Chinese embassy in Washington D.C., we know nothing. We are not trying to do anything. But by the same token, not only are they hacking in and trying to get information, and it doesn't matter where they're going to get it from, whichever side they're going to get it. But also, there is a talk about the AI, the artificial intelligence that's being used to disseminate false information, including with the Russians, a fake Russian video that shows ballots being destroyed. And there are reports I issued that adversaries, Russia and China, were trying to divide the country by posting misinformation that included stories that disaster relief funds, and we heard this, that disaster relief funds to help those affected by the recent hurricanes Milton and Helene were depleted because US dollars were being sent to help Ukraine or Israel in their respective wars. And a lot of people don't like that we're, siding with Ukraine. A lot of people really don't like that we're, sticking with Israel. And so that just gets people angrier and angrier. And that's what is happening in these videos. And it's false information, it's fake news. And so I talked about that. Take a look at that in the What You Need to Know newsletter. Also, Cameron Riley gave us a great look back at history, in which last week in Columbia, South Carolina, the arrest records of 7 civil rights activists, including 2 men by the name of Simon Bowie and Charles Barr, were cleared in the 1960 actions. So we're talking 64 years ago. These black men were students at Benedict College. They were arrested for staging a sit-in at a whites only lunch counter. Now we've heard about, Greensboro. We know about that. We know about other cities where black students sat in and were sometimes horrifically treated. In this case, these men got records. They were arrested, led to the Supreme Court, and though the convictions were overturned in 1964, the records remained. They were still out there. These guys were still charged in their
mm-mm.
efforts to integrate the lunch market, and so lunchroom rather. And so they had a ceremony and marked the official recognition of the injustice that they endured. Only Mr. Bowie and Mr. Bart are the surviving members of the group. The other 5 are deceased, and they were represented by white roses. The court applauded as the judge, Robert Hood, signed the expungement of their records, acknowledging the activists' bravery and the significance of their fight for equality. Take a look at that story. It's pretty heartwarming. It makes me think like that's going to be a movie somewhere along the way. Um,
Absolutely.
but it is just think all these other people who have not been treated properly, and they may still be going, trying to get. Well, these men are past that age now, but all through their lives, even though they were cleared 4 years later, they still have these records, 60 years still, and without the legal counsel stepping in and having their records expunged. That's crazy, man. Can you
That's wild,
imagine
man.
that?
No. That's the thing. That's like no, I cannot.
Right,
It's
right.
I just like I said, it's one of those, like you said, it's a movie. It actually, it sounds like a movie. It sounds like I'm just glad they have an opportunity to
And
to
two
get
members,
their
yeah.
cases expunged.
And these men got flowers, but the deceased got flowers, but these men are really getting their flowers now, in the true sense of the word, by being alive to watch this happen. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Matt also talked about the early voting. We do that in the newsletter. You'll if you go into the body of the newsletter, you can see the early voting dates for the states and how long your early voting goes. In some cases, until the day before. In some states, it's still the day before the general election, before election day, which is a week from today,
Oh,
Tuesday,
really?
November 5th. Yeah. And some people can vote over the weekend and what have you. So take a look at your state and where you line up there. I'm still talking about this
And your
whole
county, because I was seeing some people.
your
Sorry.
transmission was a little garbled there. Say that again.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Hmm.
now?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So I was saying I was seeing that some places in Georgia are different. So it's like I saw some people here went to the voting precinct the 7, I closed 5 today. So it depends on where you are as well in the
Wow.
state.
They just don't want to make it easy, do they?
No, I was just said somebody said 7 o'clock. I'm like, not where I'm at. It was 5 o'clock
Right.
today. I had to get it in.
Right. And some of my girlfriends were saying that last week. I tried to get in at. I just knew I had plenty of time. I was going before 5 o'clock, and I got in line. It was 5 o'clock, and they said we aren't taking anybody else. It's 5 o'clock. We're done for the day. So,
Sheesh.
yeah. So and they don't care. I'm
Mm-mm.
not saying that these people don't care, but politically speaking, if they don't look like you, then the chances are they're not going to be voting like you. I
Right.
know that's a stretch and that's a big exaggeration for some people, but overall, in my experience, unless you're like the little old lady who follows me around Albertson when I wear my Black Voters Matter T-shirt and says, we got to do something about this. Those are the people, that are going to that are not they are the exceptions. They are not going to, make it difficult for us to vote. But it's something out there. It really is. It truly, truly is. Take a look at Coy Malone and our social justice activists talking about a lawsuit filed against the Georgia sheriff's deputies for a black woman's violent arrest in which she was not guilty, but was involved in a traffic accident. And now the men are that were charged in the lawsuit say that they have immunity to stand behind, and so they're immune from these lawsuits. And I really hope that when the next president gets into office and makes some of the changes that have been promised, that this will be one of the things, especially in the George Floyd Policing Act. And so,
Mm-hmm.
if nothing else, there's a lot of promises that are made, but I think that there's one candidate who is going to try to fulfill as many of those promises as possible. Also, it is CPA to the stars, Katrina M. Craft Day. And so, when to hire a W 2 employee as opposed to one who is a 1099 contractor, and the differences between those tax forms. And and of course, we give you a birthday shout out. Happy birthday to sweet baby True. She is 2 today, and she's a friend, and this is her bath time. So she watches the show when she's getting. I'm not. Maybe she doesn't have to take a bath because it's her birthday today. Maybe she's still out
Aha.
playing. But she's a beautiful little girl, and I hope that she has as many wonderful days ahead of her as her heart and her body can hold. She's a terrific girl, and her mom and dad too. So those are the things that we talk about in the What You Need to Know newsletter. Ned, I know you're a foodie, and we're
Uh-huh.
going to talk about in our question of the day. We're going to talk about a particular type of food, but I do want to remind people if you'd like to subscribe to the newsletter, please go to SybilWilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address, and we'll have it in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. Does not cost you anything, but we do ask that when you receive the newsletter, please open it. That's it. Just open it. Take a look at some of the stories. Tell us what you like, what you'd like to see, that kind of thing. Ned, have you started
Uh-huh.
buying your candy for Halloween yet?
No, I have not. It might be time
Are
to
you
go to
going
the.
to?
No, because see,
No. As a matter of
okay,
fact, we're not.
the thing about it, I like the trick or treat, but I don't know what's been going on ever since COVID. certain areas just have never like opened back up to trick or treating. And my
Hmm.
neighborhood is one of them. They don't like it. They do a trunk or treat, they'll like by
Oh
the
yeah.
clubhouse and have people park their cars and do that kind of stuff. But kids walking from house to house, they do not. No trick or treating in my neighborhood whatsoever. So we have to go find another neighborhood, or to partake in it. So for us, we don't really buy any candy because it's pointless because nobody's coming
So you
around.
don't participate? Do you participate in the trunk or treat?
No, I'm not gonna decorate my car. I'll just go there and get the candy from you with my son. But I'm not going to decorate my car and then pass out. No, I'm not doing that. I'm
Okay,
not
so
doing
let's
that.
just play. Let's play a game. Just play. Just amuse me. If you
Okay.
were to decorate your car,
Uh-huh.
what would the decoration be? In other words, what would your car be? Of all of the fancy cars, would it be the Batmobile? Would it be the Walton
Well,
truck? What would your car
well,
be? Tony Stark? Uh-huh.
seeing that my wife and myself dressed up at a costume party this Sunday.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
she was a Ghostbuster and I was Slimer.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay.
the vehicle would have to be the Ghostbuster car.
Absolutely. That makes sense. Okay.
So
Okay.
that
Okay.
would, I have a Durango, so it's long in the back. So yeah, you put some white stuff around it, and I ain't afraid no ghosts, and then have Bobby Brown playing 24/7. Um,
And that putting that on a loop for you is nothing. So
no, if it's up to us, we got to take control.
ah.
You just have that playing and pass out candy and teach the kids something about music. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's what you gotta
Okay.
do.
That's
That's what
great.
we would do
That's
if I felt
awesome.
like having the energy to do that. But I'm too lazy to do that right now. Not gonna
You're
do it.
not
No, absolutely not.
lazy.
Absolutely not.
I
To
wouldn't
do
say
that.
lazy.
To do that.
Okay. Okay.
To do that.
So my original question of the day was really going on in terms of candy. I'm going to give you a list of, as we talk about this, the worst candy that you could possibly eat. So
Ah,
just
yes.
from from what are those candies you just can't stand, that you just,
Um,
like, like they say we're going to give you a lifetime supply of, and you say
there's no
no
name
thank
to
you.
them. I don't even want to hear candy corn. Don't even give me candy corn is not the worst candy ever. I don't want to hear
It's
that.
not. It's
The
not.
worst candy ever has
Is
no name, but y'all know what it is. It's the orange and the black candy. Orange wrapper,
oh,
black
black
wrapper.
wrapper.
I don't know what the heck they are, but they never taste good.
And then there's supposed to be like a
I think it's peanut butter. It's supposed to be peanut butter, but
yeah,
I
like a
like peanut
peanut
butter, but
butter,
it's
like
not
it's two.
it's not hitting like it's supposed to.
Right,
So
right.
that it's the black wrapper candy and the orange wrapper Halloween candy. No one knows what the heck it's called. Don't know where they come from. They're just the worst candy of all time. It's probably the cheapest, like at 25 cents per
That's funny.
bag of those things. And so like people just get it and just pass it out. But then we know the houses that had them.
Oh, you knew the houses before you got there, huh?
Of course. After a
So we
while, you
had
kind of
a
know
house.
what house not to go to.
When I was a little girl, and we were our neighborhood was changing, and we
Hmm.
still had
Hmm.
some white folks that lived on the block, and there was a white man who lived alone, and he
Hick.
would give us that candy, and he would also give us money.
I ain't mad at that.
Mr.
Dep-
Lamont. Yes.
depending how old I was, I wouldn't mind that.
So you're 5, 6 years old, you get a dime or a quarter?
Look here, we can do something with that. We can do something with that.
Right?
We can do something with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
Yeah.
gonna eat it, but I can invest it into more candy. Because back then,
Go
25
buy
cents
your
can get
own damn candy, right?
25 cents. I can get my own candy now.
And
I
go
can
up to
buy
the
something
little
back then.
store, as we used to call it. It was a little store. It was just a ramshackle house, and you go in,
Yeah,
and a little old lady, with candy.
yeah, the
Uh,
candy lady.
yep,
Yeah,
yep, at the little store. Yep,
absolutely.
yep, absolutely is right. So that's the
Real quick,
question. Yeah.
we need to get to these answers because I have some complaining to do with some
Okay.
of these folks. So I know you do, but Yogi, please bring them up. Bring them up. 'Cause I'm ready. I'm ready to talk.
Yolanda,
Yep. Yogi, come on, bring him up. Bring him up.
Licorice.
Okay, I get it. Black
Sylvia
licorice.
Crawford on Facebook says licorice. I'm with you. I really hate licorice.
All flavors?
Twizzlers, like strawberry Twizzlers. I just don't like the black
Black.
licorice.
Black.
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Candy corn is not the worst. I don't want to hear that.
Candy corn,
It's not.
Michelle, I love you. You have been a long time sister in the struggle, but candy corn's not the worst.
It's not the worst. I get if you don't like it, not the worst.
And it's
What
not
is
that
wrong, Jacqueline? Let's talk. That's who. Thank you,
Kit Kat.
Yogi.
Kit
That's who I
Kat
need to
is
talk
the
to right there.
worst, says Jacqueline
Kit
on
Kat.
YouTube.
Kit Kat, Jacqueline. Don't bring it back up. Don't no. Bring it back up, Jacqueline. Kit Kat, Jacqueline. Really, Kit Kat. You can snap it. It's wafers. It's light. And if you don't want to get too heavy with it, you can have a few of them and not feel too guilty. Kit Kat, Jacqueline? Absolutely
Jacqueline,
not. I'm sorry.
maybe Jacqueline, hold on. Maybe Jacqueline, if you just explain your hatred of Kit Kat and others too. I hate Kit Kat because Med has it in his head, and so and then we go back and forth, and we just like to hear your reasoning for it, because the worst candies I have are from doctors, and it's really health related. They gave the top 10, and they say number 10 is the Reese's peanut butter pumpkins. No list of candy would be complete without the this Halloween favorite. The classic candy is not known for its health benefits, and seasonal shapes are actually even worse in terms of nutrition. So you're not getting a lot of pumpkin, you're getting a lot of chocolate, and the peanut butter may not be that great for the Reese's peanut butter pumpkins. I don't think that's a bad one.
Okay.
Colby Smith on YouTube says those strawberry candies your granny always has, and you don't know where they buy them. They just magically appear
Kobe,
there.
what are you
They are
talking
so
about?
gross.
And they got the little gooey center. What are you talking about, Kobe?
Shush.
The strawberry candy that has no name? That is some of the best candy in the world. What are we
We didn't
talking
have
about,
those.
Kobe?
We just had the Brock's candies. They were individually wrapped. My mother was very particular about not having people grab with their dirty little paws and grab candy. Karen Vaughn on YouTube says Twizzlers are
Karen,
the worst.
Karen? I don't
Wow.
know if I'm feeling this question anymore. I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling hurt.
So Dee Dee Hucker on Facebook says
There it
orange and
is.
peanut butter taffy.
Dee Dee knows.
The
Dee
name
Dee
of
knows.
the candy. Orange and peanut butter taffy.
The worst. Those are the worst.
Orange
No
and
name, just color.
right.
Terrible flavor.
That girl says the circus peanuts are the worst on YouTube.
I really don't think I wouldn't put them as candy though. Would you? Would you put them as candy?
I would not. I would not. Bit of honey. I know a lot of people that they're not my favorite. Gwen Turner on YouTube says bit of honey. Not my favorite.
It's been a while since I've had a bit of honey. It's been a while.
I don't want to get into your personal life.
Okay.
But
right.
number nine is a favorite, is a number one for me at Halloween time. Twix. I like a Twix.
Hey. Nougat.
Yeah.
So here, I found this out. Let me ask you a question. Is Twix just Kit Kats with caramel?
Come on.
Think about
but it's that caramel that does
that kicks it. It kicks it up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Kicks it up.
It's the difference between a Milky Way and a Musketeer.
I don't know either one of those.
Huh?
I don't know Milky Ways, and I don't know Three Musketeers.
So Three Musketeers then turns into a Milky Way, which then turns into a Snicker. Huh?
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with this.
A Milky Way is just nougat. Chocolate and nougat. Then you get the Milky Way, which is chocolate, nougat, and caramel. And then the Snicker is you kick it up a notch by doing the caramel, nougat, and the nuts.
Come on.
And then the chocolate. Huh?
You got it. You've spent a lot of time, and I suspect that these candies came around after doing some other things, some herbal things. So check this out. The Twix with 14 grams of fat, 28 grams of sugar and nearly 300 calories per serving.
So what are you doing right now to me? I don't know why we're doing these numbers that have no meaning to me whatsoever.
They
Huh?
say it
Huh?
doesn't matter if you prefer the right or the left side of the Twix bar, both are equally bad for your health because of the amount of sugar and the amount of fat in that.
We don't
That's a
want to
lot.
hear this, Sybil. Not right now. Let us enjoy the moment.
Well, this is why they say these are the worst. We're talking about our personal preferences. They are getting down to why these are the worst. Yolanda, are we still moving through them? There we go. Marshmallow peeps, hate them. Thank you, Midnight Rider on YouTube.
They're
Hate
garbage.
marshmallow
Oh
peeps.
God, they're garbage.
Hate the marshmallow peeps.
They're
I,
terrible.
I can eat candy corn and with a
All
candy corn on
day.
one side and the
I,
peanuts on the other
I can
together.
eat that candle wax all day. I
Come
can
on.
eat that candy corn candle wax all day, baby.
Marshmallow peeps, no way. Renita Bland on Facebook, any jelly, gummy candy, it sticks to my teeth. That's what toothbrushing is for.
I was like, what candy doesn't stick in your teeth a little bit? I don't
Evelyn
like hot
Brockman.
tamales either. I
So
just don't like.
so so here's the funny thing about all of these candies that stick to your teeth. These are all Yolanda Stark's top 10s.
Hey,
Right?
I like a
So
good
hot
gummy bear.
tamales. I know she's had hot tamales, but I don't know what her thoughts are on those. And we'll get to some of her others. But these are all you just go and brush your teeth after you get into a sugar coma. Gwen Webb on Facebook says Three Musketeers, man.
Three Musketeers is the lowest tier of nougat. Um,
Why is it just not? Is it not?
it just doesn't do nothing for me. I'll have a
Okay.
Three Musketeer if it's like the last thing there and I need something, but I ain't going for it. I ain't looking for it. Give me a Milky Way or a Snicker. You know what I'm saying? If
Mhm.
you want something hearty, you go with a Snicker, and if you want something even heartier, you go with a Payday. That's the
Ooh,
nuts outside
yeah.
of the caramel, but no chocolate. You know what I'm saying?
Debbie Boyd on Facebook. Smarties taste like chalk.
That's elementary stuff right there. That's entry level candy.
And that's not a bad thing to pop every once in a while. You come up with a little roll of Smarties
Too
and
much
you just
work. It's too much work. It's too much work. You give that to the little kids so they can work on that and they can leave you alone for a little bit because it's an experiment.
what's the work? You just open them, you pop a couple of them.
I open the wrapper. That's all I want to do. There should be
You just
two steps.
unwrap it and you got a
Open
nice little
wrapper,
roll.
eat. Open the wrapper, eat. If I have to open the wrapper, then I have to deconstruct paper and candy. We have
Not
gone way too
deconstruct.
far. We have
Not
gone way too far. It's too much work. Way
that's
too much
funny.
work.
That's funny. Okay, we're coming to the close here. Dora Lavette Tig says peppermint. I've always you hate peppermint.
I'm just like, that's just,
Wow.
you
Okay,
sneak
so let
candy
me
that
let
way.
me let me move down to candy corn is number 4 as the worst. It's always been dubbed the worst, as some people have said here, based on a survey published by CandyStore.com. But it's one of the worst when it comes to your health. Besides bringing in little to the table, apart from the added sugar and calories. Yolanda, said. Okay, now I'm going out. Okay.
It's okay. We're
Um,
here. We're here. We're here.
okay. And the number one worst for your health, Skittles.
I believe it.
Number one in her heart, Yolanda Stark's heart, Skittles.
I like a
Front
good
runner.
Skittle though.
Say that again.
I like Skittles. I
You
do
like the
like
Skittles?
Skittles. I do like Skittles. I'm more of an M&M guy myself.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm an M&M person. But this is packed full of questionable food additives and ingredients. It also has hydrogenated oils known as trans fats, and that's how your cholesterol goes up. It has,
Really?
yes, hydrogenated oils, those trans fats. That's what makes your cholesterol go up.
Did not know that. I just thought it was candy
See?
stuff.
See?
See, candy corn probably doesn't even digest in your stomach.
You're probably, at some point, when you go for that colonoscopy, they're going to find a wad of,
They're gonna come out whole.
yeah.
They're coming out whole. They're coming out whole. Or they coagulate inside your stomach and just become a bigger candy corn.
That and the
That's what
gum
I'm,
that you used to swallow when you were in
right,
school. Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
They can use that to get together,
Right.
man.
Right. Okay, let's move to trending topics and something else that we give you in the newsletter. A reminder that daylight saving time ends this weekend, November 3rd. Don't forget to turn your clocks back
You're getting an
an
hour of
hour.
sleep.
Get an extra hour. Now, for those of you who are working Saturday nights, you got to work an extra hour.
I have so many good
Remember
memories of
those?
being in the club and drinking at that time, and it was like, keep the party going. All right then.
You sound like Coy Malone. She's like, I got an extra hour to, and I'm like, you're an adult. You don't have a curfew.
Right,
But okay.
right.
But I remember those nights of working on the Saturday nights in radio, and you had either daylight saving time, you had one less hour or
Or
one more hour.
yeah, that's
You know.
true. I've done a shift
Yep.
overnight for that. I've had to do a 5 hour shift because of it. Yep.
Yep. Folks, this is the night in which the vice president is going to make her big speech. It's going to be right behind the White House, or the White House is going to be right behind her, so you can look at her and also see, where her office is, and the next office will be. And she's going to lay it all out there for folks, and then get back on the road again. And that includes all of the battleground states. Tonight, as Med said, this is When We All Vote night in Atlanta. The former First Lady Michelle Obama, Shonda Rhimes, Sierra, just a whole bunch of beautiful Black women are going to be out there, and getting young people, to sign up to vote, to register, and to vote, and get them out and get them engaged. So this is it.
Also, my morning show, The Morning Hustle, will be at the Tabernacle
Oh, nice.
tonight for a voting event with Skilla Baby. If you would like to partake, they're at the
Is that
Tabernacle.
right? Okay.
They're at the
Okay.
Tabernacle tonight.
So
It
after
is
soccer, you and Blake gonna go head over there?
no, because I'm too far. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I
Okay.
sent them my blessings and I sent them my best wishes. They should be just
Nice.
fine without me. I'll see them in
As
the morning.
any good executive producer will
Okay.
do. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I'll be
So
like, y'all good? Excellent.
your town was in the news for another reason, Ned. Atlanta police arrested an armed person in Midtown Atlanta after urging people to shelter in place this afternoon amid reports of gunfire near a Four Seasons hotel. Not just not just the Four Seasons, the way Rudy Giuliani was talking about it. This is the Four Seasons. The Atlanta Police Department asked people to avoid the area of the hotel. In a post on Twitter shortly before 3, said it set up a perimeter to investigate. They reported that multiple shots had been fired, asking people to shelter in place, as I said. And then they said citizens within sight of the Four Seasons Hotel are advised to avoid any windows and rooms facing that area. And around about 4:30 this afternoon, police said a suspect was apprehended and taken into custody. Do you have any more
Good.
information on that?
I do not. I saw that pop up within our chat for the radio station. So my guy Incognito was on the air and he gave that information. Outside of what you just told, that's all the information I have on
Yeah,
that. So there's nothing new about that. I know at the time that, like you said, they were telling them to stay away from the windows, and
right.
it was active when we kind of got the information. And then of course they apprehended him, but no new or anything extra from us because I was literally leaving the city when that happened.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Question: Are J. Anthony Brown and I the only ones watching the World Series? And I can answer
Well,
that for you.
I can answer that I have watched a few parts of all the games,
Okay.
and it seems like Freddie Freeman is the MVP right now.
Man, yeah, he better be.
When you hit a grand slam in the first
Yeah.
game and then hit a 2-run home run in game 3 and you up 3-0. But the thing is, the Dodgers got to finish them off. I wouldn't want to
You think
give the
they'll finish him
Yankees.
off tonight?
I hope they do. I mean, I'm just for their sake. And I mean, honestly, everybody wants a good series,
Right,
and a sweep is not a good series. But the Yankees look lost. Judge and Otani have not shown up whatsoever in this thing. Like I said, it's been the Freddie Freeman show.
right.
I would like to
And
see a few more.
Otani was trying to get some attention with that, trying to steal base, and ended up, messing up his shoulder. It's like, dude,
Yeah,
as Tom Jordan used to say, let the game come to you. You
yeah.
don't,
But
you're a
this is his
phenomenal
first
pitcher.
time. This is
Yeah,
the first time that he's been in the postseason. So I think
right.
he's been pressing, and so
Yeah.
he hasn't been playing well. But Aaron Judge has been playing like garbage
Poor
too. And
Aaron
I'm talking
Judge.
about these two guys, and the people I'm talking about, Shohei Otani and Aaron Judge. They're going to be the two MVPs of their leagues. Like easily the two
Because working
MVPs,
up
and
to
they
this,
have been
to this,
playing
yeah.
like
But Freeman is
poo-poo.
definitely the MVP of the World Series for sure, especially if they
Oh,
finish it
Freddie, I
out
know
tonight.
Freddie locked that thing up.
Yeah,
I don't really care what happens. Something they could go to 7 games where the Yankees win the next 3 games. Freddie Freeman locked that thing up already. That thing's
yeah,
done. He's
yeah,
the MVP.
yeah. Um, do you have a team
The Cubs.
in the game? In this game?
Oh no, I don't care. I could care less who wins. I could care less who wins.
Well, I'm a
I
Dodgers fan because
I and then
because
I
it's
could care
Magic's
less.
team. It's a Magic Johnson team, so I'm going to go for the black man and that owns a baseball team, and then of course Jackie Robinson. I'll always be a Dodgers fan because of that. But
Good point. I'm with the Dodgers.
So Jay and I are both for the Dodgers, and at one point the first game was just incredible. The second game, it was a bit of a snoozer, and so early on in the game, Jay called and he said, "This isn't working. Us being for the same team, so let's break it up, and one of us be for one team, one of us be for the other team. You take the Yankees." And I was like, "Why do I have to take that?" So I said, "Okay, okay, all right."
No.
Because by that time they were the underdogs, and I like the underdogs. All right. So it was such a snooze fest. I said, I can't. I
Mm-hmm.
just can't. I got to go back to the Dodgers. And I said, and the Dodgers are just playing just so well. And it's exciting. What they're doing on the Yankee side is just a
Yeah,
snoozer. It's real. I mean, it's like,
it's
who are
terrible.
these guys? Derek Jeter has got throwing out the first pitch, and he's like,
Shout
you
out to
guys want me to suit up because this is ridiculous. It's
Derek
ridiculous.
Jeter and Alex Rodriguez are throwing the Yankees under the bus, throwing Aaron Boone under the bus, baby.
And Alex Rodriguez is such a oh God. Okay. Um okay. It looks like it is doing well in
Shout
the
out to J.
ratings.
Anthony Brown's wine.
You did? Sweeter than a mofo?
Yes, it's
And
good.
you liked it?
Yes, I've tried some.
Good answer. Okay.
It
All
did
right.
what it's supposed to do.
Okay. All right. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The network is seeing big gains in viewership versus the last couple of series. They hold a 3-0 lead. That means they are 3 games to nothing for the Yankees. And the World Series ratings have been impressive in this country and especially in Japan, thanks to Otani. It says that they are he said the opening 2 games averaged 12% of the Japanese population. That's pretty substantial.
Woo,
That's pretty substantial. Um,
it is.
Record levels
It is.
and 16 million viewers in Japan, about 12% of the population. Yolanda, do you want to bring this to an end for the comments or just to the end of the story? Did you see? And I know we talk a lot about Chicago, but this is just the worst, Med. Did you see where Pepsi workers in Chicago are out of? They went to work yesterday and found out that they were out of a job. A group of
No,
Pepsi
I did not see
workers
that
out of a
story.
job after the company announced the immediate closure of the only Pepsi plant left in the city Monday. One employee who worked for the company for almost 30 years, 29 years, was an overnight forklift operator and union member, said he and his colleagues were completely blindsided. All Pepsi employees were informed of the closure about 5 o'clock Monday morning, around the time that the Teamsters Union also received written notice from Pepsi attorneys. Employees said they noticed a high presence of security on site because, folks will show out, but they didn't think much about it. And they said it's an old plant. That's what Pepsi has said. It has a lot of work that needs to be done, and they weren't going to put any more money into it. And so, as of Monday, the plant was shut down. That means people who've worked there for 20, 30, 40, and more years. That's the only job many of them have ever known. They get it's good job, good money, health benefits. One man, worked there for almost 30 years, and his wife has MS, but their health insurance takes care of them. Their daughter is graduating from high school. She's getting ready to go to college. And I know we need to prepare for things like this, like the pandemic, if that didn't teach us anything. but this is just the worst. Bad Pepsi. Bad Pepsi. That's why I drink Coke.
Sybil, I'm. I was about to say, come down to Atlanta and get a job at the World of Coca-Cola. My thing is, I think this is, but I also believe that we're not going to see an era of people
No,
working 40, 30 to 40 years at
no,
any one place anymore.
no.
We don't, because there's no, because we've seen, hey, Sybil, how many times have we seen he's been working for this company for 40 years and they
Yeah.
gave him tickets to go see a
Right, right.
Falcons
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Congratulations for your 40 years of service. They gave him $1,000 and the tickets to go see the circus. Huh?
as if it weren't.
Great.
I mean, in this
It's
business,
not, it's,
but Med,
yeah, it's like,
here we were with the Joyner Show. That was 20 years. That's
mhm,
unheard of.
mhm.
In radio, you get hired to be fired.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm already, counting down my days. And so it's like when, but the thing is, it's like, what's the benefit of being somewhere long term? I have yet to see, unless you're like a CEO, unless you're like a CEO or somebody in high management who got those
Mhm.
nice little packages that when you retire, you
Yeah, you
get
get those
millions of dollars
parachutes.
and stuff like that. Unless you them, there is no benefit of being anywhere for 40 years.
Yeah, your
I've learned
loyalty.
now the the loyalty cost you. Your
Right,
loyalty is never anything that they don't think about it like that. They'll, like I said, they'll give you a pin and say, great job. The thing is, nowadays, you're better off going from job to job and getting more money every single time you switch jobs within your profession than to stay at
right.
one place and be loyal to it.
Yeah.
It is what it is now.
That's a
Yeah,
sad reality.
it
And
is.
and a lot of
I've
young
had to
people don't.
change companies 3 times to get paid more money each time.
Right. And my mom and my dad worked their little jobs as a Chicago public school teacher, a Chicago fireman, and I never knew them to have any different jobs in my lifetime.
Mm-mm.
It's just, but it's unheard of these days. It's unheard of. Um,
It's
Meanwhile,
the
and
MVPs
this is
on
Walgreens
TV now.
related again. I'm sorry, say again.
They say MVP Harris is on TV right now.
Oh yeah, she is. Um, oh, I thought I had it. Went to another channel. Okay. Um, the Walgreens is laying off 256 workers, mostly in Chicago, the latest in a series of layoffs at the company in recent years. They've already announced they're going to be closing eliminating another 215 open positions. And around the country, they're going to be closing Walgreens altogether around the country, about 1,200 or 14% of its US stores.
Walgreens?
Walgreens. Yep. 256 people announced by Walgreens this week.
That's
And a lot of
interesting.
open positions they're not going to fill. And 1,200 stores, or 14% of their US stores in the next 3 years.
Let me tell you something. I think also this goes to the Amazons and to
Hmm.
the online portion, because now if you go online, even for Walgreens, if you trick their app, there's a lot of things you can do on their app. Ordered, get delivered.
Yeah.
Pharmacies
Walgreens
get
and
delivered.
Walmart are
Amazon got
good
a
at that.
pharmacy now.
Yep.
Walmart closed all their all they had because right by me, the Walmart by me had a clinic. That clinic
Hmm.
lasted like 6 months, and all the Walmarts and clinics have been shut down. They literally put them
Wow.
up and shut them down within a year.
That's
So it's
crazy.
just like because everyone's ordering things online, because we're doing so many things online, it is killing brick and mortar now.
Yeah.
So Walgreens is consolidating because they don't need all these buildings. Why? Because they are now shipping things out like everybody else is.
I'm trying to reduce my Amazon addiction right now because of Jeff Bezos and the Washington Post, and not deciding this is a year they're not going to make an endorsement because they're hedging their bets that Donald Trump is going to win, and they don't want to piss him off for the contracts they get with the country, with the
Can I
United
ask a
States
question
government.
about that?
Hmm.
Because Jeff Bezos' explanation actually made sense to me.
It does,
Um,
but it's so disingenuous.
I get it, but I'm like, if I'm somebody who's running a newspaper, I feel like if I go with a candidate, I'm going to look biased in my reporting. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So I really do believe that newspapers probably shouldn't be endorsing anybody. I'm just, I'm, I just, that's what I think.
But
I don't
people
think,
recognize,
I don't
and
think,
the big deal is
go ahead.
when they usually, like the Chicago Tribune, let's just use that as an example, a
Mm-hmm.
newspaper that I grew up with, a very conservative newspaper. When they called for Richard Nixon to resign, and when they would, say vote for, or we are endorsing Joe Biden over, that was a big deal. That was a big deal, and
It
that
was,
showed
no,
that.
I get it. But I
Right.
think, you think it could be too big of a deal though? I mean, especially back then.
Well,
Not as
back
much
then it was a
now,
big deal.
but
Today,
like,
not so much, because nobody reads the
not so
newspapers.
much. But nobody, I don't think anybody's endorsement is important. I
Well,
really don't. I
not
don't
not
think.
the way it used to be. Not the way it used to
No,
be.
not no, yeah,
But
not like
but
back in the
I
day. It
do
used to be
think.
certain politicians. It meant something. Nowadays, I don't think anybody cares. Like you get like
No.
it's cute. Like when you have Beyonce go up there and things of that, and you have all these celebrities. It doesn't matter. Like they're saying, I'm backing this person. It doesn't matter. I got to bring this guy's name up because of I think he had a big impact. When Diddy did Vote or Die,
Hmm.
that's impact. You know what I'm saying? When a
Right.
celebrity saying I'm going to vote for this person, that's no impact. Impact is showing people how important it is to vote.
Right.
Impact is actually putting your money where your mouth is and creating campaigns. I just saw Tamika Mallory and this man Bing do Vote or Else.
Right.
They had that going on right now. We had Beanie
That's
Single,
that's big.
Jada Kiss. They were walking in Atlanta, going
Hmm.
door to door, knocking on people's doors. Talking, can you imagine being at your house and Jada Kiss or Beanie Siegel or Killer Mike show up at your house? Hey, are you gonna vote? Early voting's going on right now. Do you have a ride
Right.
to the precinct? Do we
That's
need to help
that's
you in any kind of way?
that's a
That
big
is
impact.
impact.
Yes,
That's
you're
impact.
right. You're right. I agree with you. But I think that uh, the Bezos saying that is, because you should not have a horse in this race. That's a lie. He's got a horse in the race, and
I
he's
know he
trying
does.
to. And
I
and
get
to
it.
say and to use that is just like you're lying. You're full of it.
No, I get it. I get it. But I honestly
And
don't believe that any.
200,000 subscriptions canceled since that announcement was made is going to affect
That's
the writers
wild.
and the people working for the newspaper. It's not going to affect Bezos, but I think that if I can do without my Amazon subscriptions, I'm going to do what I can. I get Amazon packages every day, and I'm trying to, and
I
I'm
got stuff.
weaning myself off of it.
I got stuff in my cart right now,
Hmm.
just staring
Yeah,
at me,
yeah.
waiting till my next
Waiting for another
for another
bargain day.
payday.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah, yep,
yep,
yep.
absolutely sitting in there.
Yolanda, you said you have a message you want us to take a look at before we clear out of this. Dora Levette Tiggs on Facebook on BET at 10 o'clock presents Black Men Speak Summit. Will you watch? Maybe Sybil Wilkes will mention it. I think DL is hosting it. Absolutely. I had that in my notes. Thank you, Dora. Yeah, tonight at, I think that's 10 o'clock Eastern. I think it's 9 o'clock after the vice president. She looks good standing there with the White House behind her. That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Yeah, so check that out, Med, tonight if you are still awake with our
I
boy
will be. I have
DL.
stuff to do.
Okay, don't we all? I'm going to mention entertainment. This was a discussion that went on Friday night when Kelly Rowland and Beyonce Carter were at the Texas Stadium, and there was no Michelle Williams. Where was the third member of Destiny's Child? Well, Michelle Williams was on Sherry Shepherd's show and explained, and my friend John Murray explained to us she was on Broadway. That's why she couldn't take off on Friday night and join her sisters at the Destiny Child reunion for Kamala Harris. And so she is on Broadway. She said, I wanted to be there, but I could not. And she is on Broadway in a play called Death Becomes Her. And she couldn't attend because it was one of those last minute things, and having an understudy and all that. She said, but I was so happy, but at the same time, it was the first time I have not been able to be in person for something that you wanted me to be at. And that is a sacrifice we make with Broadway. So We know her heart was in the right place. She just her job would not allow her to take off that night. But we know she was there with the girls in spirit, and they did a great job. And I look forward to her
They did
coming
a
out.
great job, and people.
You were
I'm
breaking up.
sorry.
Say that
People
again.
were trying to say that Michelle was scared of this.
Say again.
People were trying to say that Michelle was scared of this. I'm sorry. Trying to say upstairs.
Oh,
That they were worried about the tripping.
oh, okay. Right.
Throw back the beat. I'm over here. Don't worry about me. I'm over.
Okay. We're gonna close out with the jewel, and I'm looking for that. My notes are all kind of all over the place right now, but I'm gonna get to Yolanda's jewel and tell you that it says, Yolanda, you want to come on and just do the jewel? You don't have to come on and you don't have to see it. Just never mind. Um, no, that didn't work either. Okay, never mind. I'll get it. Matt, just talk amongst yourselves. Here we go.
If
Here we
y'all
go.
can hear me, okay, never mind. I'm done. Thank you very much.
Self control is not about restrictions, but about choosing what's best for your well being. Self control, not about restrictions, but about choosing what's best for your well being. All right. Thank you so much. Man, great conversation as always. Never at a loss of words between us. Appreciate you. All right, everyone. Let's go pick up those kids from soccer. Let's go home and watch the vice president make her speech. And if you haven't, let's go out and vote. Thank you so much. Aloha.